Hard to believe, but we're at this point already. Jimin, the last of the solo singers. Unless we're going to go into the rap line. Are we going into the rap line? If I'm bullied enough, I'll do it. I mean, I love them, so it's not going to take much bullying. Hello wonderful humans of the internet, how are we? My name is Sam Scott-Thorne and I am a vocal coach based in Glasgow. Now if you'd like to meet and explore your voice a little more, you can find me on sstvocals.com. You can also find me on Patreon and various other social media platforms, and I'll put the handles down below and over there. Side note, I'm planning on doing some live streams for Patreon. I want to turn it into something where I can actually hang out with you guys. So if you're into that, take a look. Now if you'd like to consider becoming a patron, you have access to things like early release of reactions, you can fast track reactions, become a reaction, there's special roles on my Discord server, and you have access to all sorts of bonus content like my Vocal Anatomy 101 series and other things, I'm tripping over my tongue, and possible live streams as well, so consider becoming a patron and help shape my channel. Mouth needs to catch up with brain before I start watching this video. Whew. Okay, so we're at the final of this mini series of checking out what the BTS singing group, the four of them, have been doing while they're on military leave. And Jimin was the last one. I put this up to a poll actually because there was so many suggestions. And at the time of recording, the winner was Like Crazy. I then went through some comments and I saw that there's a Lee Mujin version, an acoustic version that I was to check out. That cropped up more times than I felt was a fluke, so we're gonna go and check out that version. I hope that's okay with everybody. But yeah, let's go and check out what Jimin's been up to. I'm excited. I know it's gonna be good. Oh, I like this vibe. It's very French. What? How do you mix being adorably cute and add in sex appeal? I don't understand it. It's the weirdest mix of two qualities, just anyway. That little riff at the end there was gorgeous. But to the wider point, this is gorgeous sounding. Very high placed. The larynx is really high and bright, so you get that kind of innocence of tone. There's a lot of falsetto moments on an onset, so it's starting in falsetto, and then as he goes through the phrase, he goes into head voice, which makes the sound a little bit more kind of closed sounding, a bit more kind of pushed, if you like. So you get this wispy sound onto this kind of deliberate flow. It's a really, really effective way to get that movement into the song. Oh, that was a weird noise. Safe to say, I really like this. Let's keep going.
Watch me go, and now I sing down all alone. Away.
I know I'm going to try not to pause this many times, but there's little bits of fry at the beginnings of these phrases now. So his onsets are really obviously quite a good gateway to understanding how Jimin will form his phrasing. So I don't know, it's really, really gorgeous. It just gives a little bit of texture, a wee creak, if you like. Everything's a very gentle kind of start with Jimin in this song anyway. This sounds like bedroom talk, love letter written all over it.
Where am I? A dark case clouding on my eyes. I can hear the voices, don't know who they are. I'm trying to take the fresh air, I've been waiting for the stars.
Really, really nice. I noticed something though. He did put his in-ear headphone back into his ear. Now, for a lot of singers, you'll see them, they'll get halfway through a song or whatever, and then they'll take it out, especially in a live band setting where there's other musicians around, big speakers and people. That's to kind of get a gauge of what it sounds like outside of your head. I mean, their sound cancelling, noise isolating headphones. So they can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Isolating. Oh my god. The noise isolating headphones are isolating. I am El Genius. Anyway, the point still stands. It can be quite isolating, especially when you're on a stage and there's lots of people around and you want to kind of soak up that atmosphere. But in this setting where he's doing like a live session where it's probably just him and like a couple of people recording, like looking after the kind of setup of the thing, he is then going to want to focus more in on some of these gentle vocals that he's doing. So he's putting his headphone back in and closing himself in so that he can feel the intimateness of the performance he's trying to do. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's also quite a bit of like lazy diction coming through here. Everything kind of sounds like it's sliding from one word to the next word. I really, really like it. I feel like it's got its own character, and it makes the actual movement of the vocal even more kind of flowy. I think the word that keeps coming back to me here is like flow. This is just moving so beautifully. Who's that? That little cry coming in there, that out of my mind, that's an emotional turn. He's basically letting his voice get to the point where the kind of fry element will come in like that, and he's like pushing onto that sound. I really, really, really like when he does this. The only other person that I can think of that does it as consistently in their vocals is Morissette Amon. She is a Filipina singer who is also fantastic. Go check her out. But the way that he's managed to kind of like almost trademark this sound, I hear that and I'm like, oh, that's Jimin for sure. And he somehow made it not like overdone. Like for some people you get this thing and they know that they can do it and then they just do it all the time and it ends up kind of wearing a bit thin. You're like, okay, we know you can do that, like let's move beyond it. I think of like Detox and Drag Race and shit. If you don't watch Drag Race, that'll make no sense to you, but if you do, the real ones, let me know. You know what I'm talking about. And then this guy pops up. I'm assuming this is Lee Mujin. Is that a fair assessment? Because otherwise there's just a guy sitting next to him and I don't know. I'm assuming this is like a TV show where he interviews them. I'm making this up in my head, but I'm assuming. Listen to the difference in twang in his voice here. So, give me a good... He's actually kind of adding it on as he goes. There's a lot of twangy elements in his higher place sound. It just makes everything more compressed and it makes that sound all the more kind of laser focused. If you were to do it the whole time, it wouldn't sound bad at all, but because he's a great singer, he can add in variation, take off a bit of that twang, add in a little bit more aspirate tone, which is more air through the folds, and it creates just a different character to his voice. I think you need it, especially if you're going to do like a solo song. You need to be able to adapt your voice to different situations and almost give like different flavors, like courses in a meal. You want to have people able to like go, oh, that's different, oh, that's nice. And he's serving up a buffet. It's like, it's just so much going on. I love it. That was so soft. Now this is what I mean, like this like cutesy element of like I'm just a little guy versus like the kind of sexy kind of French jazzy sound. How is he combining these and it not being jarring? I don't understand what my brain chemistry is changing. Did you hear that fry onset? reflection. And then it was so airy going through. That probably sounded absolutely terrible, but it took me off guard. The control he has over the softest, airiest parts of his voice are really, really impressive. If you try and push as much air through your folds as possible and then still have it make like perfect, clear, concise sense, that's a skill, my friend. There's a lot of falsetto happening here, which is where the folds kind of open and go stiff, and the airflow coming through produces a sound that way. It's different from head voice, where we have a vibratory pattern. He is mixing between the two, but that was Fry into falsetto, and it was absolutely gorgeous.
Can't even wake up nicer. I'm feeling so alive, wasting time. I wear the pillows in the light, lost in the light. I'm out of my mind. Can you hear me?
My that little emotional term will never not be like fun to me. I just enjoy hearing it. Kind of makes you go woo. There is so much attention to just the little endings of his phrases and the beginnings of his phrases. He really has this eye for detail, which to like the average listener you would not particularly pick up on most of it. But if you were to go through this with like a fine tooth comb and listen to it, even like slowed down, hearing all these beautiful tiny little intricacies, it's like he is stitching a tapestry, and there's like the smallest, tiniest little flowers in there, you know. You're like, how did they do that? This is what he's given me.
Each night you spin me up, emotions on ice. Let me have a taste. Keep me all good, right?
I just love the fact that he's like singing like, give me a good ride. Wait, I mean, if you're Scottish, that means something different. And there's this like other dude sitting next to him. It's like looking kind of awkward, but not really. But like, I don't know. The whole setup for this is very amusing. He's probably sitting there like, don't fall in love with this man. Don't fall in love with this man. Don't fall in love with this man. And you can try. I mean, you know, you can try, but this song was written for a reason, and it is seductive.
This will break me, this is gonna break me. No, don't you? I wanna stay in this dream, don't I? And don't you try to save me. I need a way we can dream on. Oh no.
All these lovely little licks. He's got this like sway going on to some of these pitch bends here. It's Jimin is, I don't really know how to explain it, because he has got one of the lightest voices of the group, like in terms of like tonal quality. It's just a very wispy sound, and it's very small and contained. I mean, he's like a Fabergé egg. I don't know if I've described him as that before, but that's what he's just so like precious and delicate, right? That's kind of what I see in my mind's eye. But what he does with his voice and the control that he has and the attention that he pays to the onsets and the offsets and the texture and everything, the little cries, he just knows how to bring out the absolute best of his voice to the point where he doesn't have to like thrash at his voice, doesn't have to try and belt, he doesn't need, want, or whatever, you know. He just has this lane and he is happy on it and he's perfect with it. And I don't know how to explain it. Basically what I'm trying to say is that in popular culture, people tend to like gravitate towards the folk with the big boomy voices or like the crazy like big sounds. And Jimin is doing the opposite. He is bringing people into his world, and he's going, no, my voice is little, and it's unique, and it's special, but, you know, it's precious. I sounded like Gollum. And I just love that for him. I absolutely love it. This song is perfect for that voice as well. I really enjoyed that little bit at the end there with the pushed H sound. That kind of goes into that falsetto territory. It gives you that hooty sound, makes everything a lot lighter and just, oh, gorgeous. Jimin, you have absolutely smashed it with that song. This is the only one as well that I have not compared to another song because nothing jumped out at me apart from like French Cafe. That was amazing. And what a lovely little journey it's been going through each of the solo singers' works while they're away on military service. I know that they're back soonish, or Jin is the first one out, I know that much. But that gives us some more time to go and check out some more songs. So maybe we'll do a round two, or maybe we'll see what some of the rappers have been up to. If you bully me hard enough, which will not take much bullying, sound off down below. Let me know in which direction should I go. Back to the singing unit and just start reeling off more songs, or move on to the rap unit and then back to the singing. I don't know. You know what I'm talking. You know what I'm trying to say. You're picking up what I'm putting down, yeah? Anyway, if you like that reaction, please give it a like and a thumbs up down below. And if you want to see more from me, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and anytime I have new content, you will be the first to know. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And how are we going to buy this one? I am not sure. I'm not sure. So I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for joining me. And if you like and subscribe, then I will fall in love with you. True story. I will. Love you. Never heard of her.